Hi everyone, this is your host and your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers, and welcome to today's show. Today's show we're going to be talking about being seen. And I love that I came up with this title and I went, God, I love this title because it's this idea of now you see me, now you don't. I'm going to talk more about this during the show and give you a new way of looking at this. I know that for some, this whole idea of being seen, that we can get into a very all or nothing way of looking at it, like you're going to be completely seen or you have to stay hidden. And I want to introduce you today to an idea of how you can turn this off and on. It's not all or nothing and it's not going to be fixed, but that there are ways for you to play with this. And so I'm really excited about today's topic. Because the truth is, if there are things that you want to do to make your world bigger, being seen is part of it. If you want to build your business, you have to have more visibility. If you want to date, if you want to find the person of your dreams, you're going to have more visibility, right? Making more friends. Even for things like looking for a job or moving into a different job, all of these things require us to have more visibility. Weight loss comes under the same heading of it will create more visibility, and whether that is okay for you or you have some issues around that, this is a good topic for you as well. And you might have some insights that really help you to see why you might have been struggling with some weight. We call these the downsides. Again, looking for a job, making friends, going out on dates, building your business. You're going to find that this is a thread, and so this is a really great show for you. So I know just talking about this, hearing these words for many of you is already starting the flight response, right? The sweaty palms, the heart beating, the breathing being a little bit more labored. Just the thought of talking about more visibility can get some people already running their program of I need to hide, I need to keep it on the down low, I don't like this topic at all. That's okay, hang with me, you're only listening, and of course start tapping while you're listening. So let's take a look at why is it that we start to have that response. What is it that gives our body that response when we think about having more visibility? And to do that, I'm going to take a little look back on just our deepest, oldest survival response, right? Being visible was risky. After all, in the animal world, there are certain animals that can be very visible. Think about the lion. It's big, he's huge, he's fierce. He's the one who eats things. Very few things besides man are eating the lion. So the lion has no problem with visibility. The antelope, on the other hand, has a big problem with that visibility. The antelope always has to keep its senses alive, to be aware that it could be eaten, it could be destroyed, it could be a life or death decision about being seen. Well, there's a little part of that in us. We even know that there are animals that use camouflage, right? They blend in. Think of those lizards and whatnot. They know how to blend in. That's what keeps them safe. For us, feeling small or staying small, we may have equated it with now that's what keeps us safe, is being unseen, being unheard, playing small is going to keep us safe. But we aren't hiding from animals anymore. So now our concerns are on protecting us emotionally. We have feelings that we don't want to experience. Feelings like embarrassment, feeling rejected, laughed at, blamed. We've equated being small or being unseen with being able to keep ourselves safe. And now here we are wanting to step it up, expand our world, and we're faced with these fears. So what do we do about that? How do we start to feel more comfortable having visibility, putting ourselves out there? So let's just think a little bit about our own past. What did you grow up with? Maybe things you could have heard, like kids shouldn't be seen or heard. Maybe you were taught that you needed to really keep a low profile in your household. That's the way it was supposed to be. Children were supposed to have that role. Now, we may say children, but nevertheless, if you haven't learned how to shine, we may still be playing some of those old records. Or maybe you grew up in a household where there was a lot of anger in the house, and You learned how to stay small. You learned how to stay quiet and invisible, what I always called below the radar. That's what I learned in my house, is how do I stay below the radar to avoid provoking that anger and having it directed at you. Or you knew how to stay really still and quiet if somebody in the household was raging around. That's that kind of freeze response that we get to be invisible. Sometimes we wanted to stay invisible because as kids, you would be called upon to do things like, right, like more chores. Who hasn't heard this? I'll give you something to do. If you don't have anything to do, let me give you some chores. Or, hey, you don't look like you're doing anything right now, so maybe you can come over and help me do this chore. You can wash the dishes. You can put the dishes away. Whatever it was, we realized, oh, geez, there could be extra work if I'm visible. So I need to stay invisible to avoid getting extra work. Some of you are still playing that game at work, is that if you can't see me, then I won't be given extra work. I won't have more responsibility. Or maybe you were a latchkey kid and you weren't supposed to be seen because the message was, keep a low profile, don't let anybody know you're here, and that will keep you safe. And next you want to look at what were those old events that taught you that it's not safe to be seen. Most of us had to do things like presentations in school, right? We've all had times where we had to stand out. Maybe it was in gym class where you had to do some kind of an exercise and everybody sat around and watched you and they laughed. Maybe you were awkward at it or you weren't very good at it and the kids laughed, they snickered, and being able to be seen that way, to be embarrassed that way, to be humiliated that way was such a big thing that you realize, man, it's not safe. I never want to have that feeling again. It's an unbearable feeling. So if you can't see me, then I can't mess up. You can't make fun of me. I can't feel bad. And that's my solution, is to not be seen. So let's do some tapping on this. All right, we're going to start now because I know I've probably gotten some people pretty charged up just thinking about it, asking you to think back at your home. So let's find your event. What was that thing that comes to mind for you that when you think about it, you can still feel, what is it, the embarrassment, the worry, the fear? Was it humiliation? Think about that past event that when you think about it, you still get that familiar feeling in your body, probably a fear, freeze type of a response. Or if there's something in the future that you're thinking about doing, maybe it's going to a networking event or meeting some friends up who are going to introduce you to a new person, a potential date that you might like. Just think about that thing that might be coming up that you can feel yourself already starting to shut down, your energy's already starting to get jammed up, and give it a number. What number, 0 to 10, what would that number be? It's probably going to be pretty high if it's the one you pulled up. And then notice where it is in your body. Where do you feel it? Where is your freeze, fight response? And let's start out at the karate chop. Even though it isn't safe to be seen, and that's a fact, I'm willing to be curious about this topic. Even though I learned that it isn't safe for me to be seen, and I know why, I'm open to accepting all of me now. Even though it's a crazy idea for me to be visible. That's okay. What if I can learn to take it slow? And let's go to the eyebrow. Being seen is not a good idea. Side of the eye. No way I'm doing that. Under the eye. What if I put myself out there? Under the nose. And I'm embarrassed. Chin. Rejected. Collarbone. I fail. Under the arm. I would be completely exposed. top of the head, and everyone would see it. Back at the eyebrow. I can't do that. Side of the eye. I won't do that. Under the eye. It's not safe for me to be seen. Under the nose. It was terrible last time. Chin. I barely survived. Collarbone. I should stay small. Under the arm. The risk is far too great. Top of the head. I know I couldn't survive it again. Back at the eyebrow. I have to keep myself safe. Side of the eye. I have to keep myself hidden. Under the eye. Is that completely true? Under the nose. What if there were times to be seen? On the chin. And times to be hidden. Collarbone. What if it wasn't all or nothing? Under the arm. What if I felt I belonged? Top of the head. What if it was okay to make mistakes? Back at the eyebrow. What if I just played with this? Side of the eye. Took it slow. Under the eye. What if I enjoyed my time in the sun? Under the nose. Perhaps there are ways to enjoy being more seen. Chin. What if I could decide when to be seen? Collarbone. And when to dim the lights. Under the arm. What if that was my new beginning? Top of the head. I believe I'm making a new beginning. Now take a breath. Think back on that old event, if that's what you were using. Go back to that old event. See it again. See how it feels. A little bit looser. Maybe it's not completely gone. That's okay. You'll just keep tapping on it. Keep relieving the energy, all that stuck energy around that old event so you can watch it. You may find that you may even feel some empathy for yourself, but you do see it and feel it differently. And if you were focused on something that was going to be in the future, you're looking at it coming up. Watch it now. How does it feel? I'm not saying that it feels completely gone or completely light right now, but notice feeling lighter. Notice it feeling looser. This is an indicator to you that you can help teach your body how to feel more comfortable. Imagine the advantages for you, because all you need to do every new opportunity is to continue to allow yourself to feel more and more calm. It gives you permission to take on some new behaviors, some new events, to where your confidence can grow. And the more your confidence grows, the more your changing belief really starts to get anchored in. And now it feels more of that, I do belong, I can do this, it is safe. Even if I mess it up, I can live with that. Even if somebody asks me a question, I can live with that. Even if I make a mistake, I can live with that. But we grow into that. We have to give ourselves opportunities to be able to feel better. Whenever we tap, we're teaching our body how to look at that new situation from a calm state. which is how we grow more and more confident. So you're doing it right now. Know that getting comfortable with more visibility, being seen, is not a one-time tapping. This is something we work on because we're training and helping our body to feel safe again. Having more visibility is a must for living a bigger life. It's just the way it is. So this tapping, this whole topic, is going to be something that you come back and you revisit quite a bit. But what most people don't know is that visibility isn't a all or nothing thing. I want to stress this. I said in the beginning that there's a way people look at it as all or nothing. Either I'm going to be visible or I'm invisible. But we actually can, like a dimmer switch, we can turn it up and we can turn it down. There may be times where we don't want to be visible, and that's okay. But we didn't know that we had that choice before. So let me give you an example. I worked with this wonderful woman who came to me. She wanted to lose some weight. This was many, many years ago. Wanted to lose some weight. And one of the things we often talked about, what were the downsides? And visibility, more visibility, was one of them. She was telling me about how she went out to a club with some of her girlfriends, and they were quite enjoying themselves, and it got quite a bit of male attention, right? Several single women having a really good time has a way of getting some men's attention. This is what happened for them, and she felt very uncomfortable with it. And we did some tapping around it, and she had the awareness. She came to the conclusion, you know what? There are going to be times I don't want to be that person in that group. I don't want to be visible. I don't want guys coming up and hitting on me. And she didn't have to keep the weight on to do it. She could do it through dressing a little bit more dowdy, or by turning her energy dimmer switch down so she didn't shine so much. Maybe she didn't get as much notice. It also made her realize that there were times that she was out and she was turning off her lights, but she was hoping to get some attention, and now it made her realize, well, there was a reason nobody noticed me back then, because I had my lights off. And even though I didn't know I could turn them off or on, I didn't know how to be safe around it, the fact is now she could look back and see how that wasn't because she wasn't desirable. It wasn't because she didn't have something to offer. It didn't mean that nobody really had any interest in her, but because she had her lights off, energetically she wasn't drawing attention to herself. And so she had several realizations. One is that she could play with it. She knew that if she was having a period of time she didn't want to be noticed, that there were things she could do to stay invisible. By the same token, she understood that there were times in the past where she wasn't getting noticed. It was because she had her lights turned off, and she could give new meaning to those old events as well. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Play with this idea of being able to play with that light. Where are some areas you would like to have some more visibility? You don't have to be the brightest star there. You don't have to get on stage. You don't have to be flamboyant. I know some of you are going, but I'm kind of by nature a little shy or introverted. That's okay. But nobody's telling you that you have to change your personality. What would it look like for you to turn up your light just a little bit? Just to be seen when you want to be seen, in incremental doses. Doesn't have to be all at the same time. How would you do it in small steps? How would you try it on? And because I know one of the questions often is, well, how would I, Mary? Let me offer you one. I want you to think about these words. It's a belief, really. It's a way of being, a feeling, I belong. What if you felt you belonged? If you were at an event, if you were at a club, if you were at the office, and you thought to yourself, I belong, I have value, I am interesting, I am smart, I'm clever, I'm funny. How would it feel to belong? Just feel it in your body first. And then feel your presence. Maybe not your light up just a little bit. Just see how it feels and notice what happens. Just notice what happens. It's something you have control over. You never knew that before. Welcome to the opportunity to have more visibility when you want it. See, I told you this would be a great topic today. I love it. So thanks for tapping along with me. And remember, I do a 30-minute free consultation. If you're ready to live in that bigger life, you know that you need some help, you want some guidance in doing that, let me know. Mary@tapintooaction.com. Email me, tell me you're ready. We'll set up a time for us to chat, see how I can be helpful, see how my programs can be helpful to you. And until next time, this is your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers. Stay brilliant. Hi, this is your coach, Mary, and I know that when it comes to taking action, there are times, no matter how sincere your intentions are, that you still can't get yourself to take action. I get it. Sometimes fear and anxiety can be so overwhelming that you don't even know where to begin. I want you to know you don't have to do it alone. So here's one action you can easily take. Go to tapintooaction.com to find resources to support you. And while you're there, you can download the powerful and popular How to Tap Your Way to Success audio and workbook. It's free. So go to tapintooaction.com now.